Representative Matayoshi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I was going to mostly stand on my testimony from last time, but these are going pretty long. I'm just going to hit some of the highlights and respond to some of the points brought up today.
Is this in
in opposition.
Please proceed.
The first is the price tag. I mean, it's $39 million in a year where we are talking about cutting budgets to departments, to social programs. Granted, the proponents of this bill would have you believe that most of this money would be made up. But even if they're right, we would be fronting the $39 million to establish this program. And I think that's $39 million that we just simply do not have. On the item of black market, other states who have legalized marijuana recreationally have seen a huge boom in the black market. I've heard from previous speakers that we want to tax them and that the taxes are going to make it up, but that the prices are going to remain the same and competitive with the black market. Mr. Speaker, those two are in opposite. The reason why the black market is able to sell marijuana for cheaper is because they are not subject to the tax. So if you make the tax what it is in the bill, or if you even raise it, as certain speakers have suggested, that's going to differentiate the price even more. I think that in order to get the money back through this bill, we're going to get it back through taxes. So that it's virtually impossible to sell legal weed and get our money back and compete with the black market. You can't have your cake and eat it too. The taxes make it impossible to do that. The dangers to drivers, I have heard the previous speakers, one of the previous speakers' testimony or speech that yes, a lot of the drivers that were arrested for driving under the influence of marijuana were also intoxicated with alcohol as well. That might be true, but I do believe that if you are high and drunk, you are more likely to cause an accident rather than just drunk. So I'm not sure why we're adding marijuana to the mix. I think that the increase in vehicle incidents with people who were driving high does make a difference. I think that we did see a rise in the Rocky Mountain area. The impact on tourism, I'm not going to go too much into it. Everyone knows that marijuana smells pretty terrible when it's smoked. I want to point out that it's already illegal to smoke marijuana pretty much everywhere right now, but it's still happening. If we normalize recreational marijuana, we're going to see an increase in those areas. Even though we're saying, no, don't smoke in the parks, don't smoke in the beach, we are still going to see an increase in it, especially due to normalization. The point I really want to hit, Mr. Speaker, that I did not go over last time is this is going to require a lot of law enforcement. And I think everyone acknowledges that, including the bill's introducers and the bill's proponents. In order to make this bill work, we're going to need at least, and I counted 17 law enforcement hired just for this program. Right now, HPD on Oahu is at 20% vacancy. We have 425 vacancies at last count. On Maui, we have a 30% vacancy with 165 vacancies. On Hawaii Island, we have 89 vacancies. If we're not able to fill the vacancies we have, we're missing hundreds and hundreds of officers. And yet, this program proposes to hire 17 more on top of the ones we're not filling yet. I don't believe that's going to happen. And if that doesn't happen, in order to effectuate this program and to make sure it's done the way the bill's introducers would like it to be done, we're going to need to start pulling officers from other places. And officers are already stretched so thin, they're having trouble responding to 911 calls. I'm personally afraid of the danger it's putting our community in if we need to pull officers off the beat or out of other divisions in order to staff this cannabis office. I don't believe that that's the right thing we should be doing for our community, and I really do believe that it's going to make Hawaii a more dangerous place. It is still federally illegal. Even if they did move it down to a Schedule III drug, we're not selling ketamine on the streets. I think that even a Schedule III drug is dangerous. It should not be recreationally available, so I don't believe that's a valid argument. It's true that no president so far has cracked down on any states that have legalized marijuana, but presidents change all the time. We're about to have a presidential election. There's no way to tell in the future whether Hawaii joining in with the other states is not going to have negative repercussions on our state.
Mr. Speaker,
Representative Garrett.
Yield my time.
Thank you. Almost done. The last point I want to make, Mr. Speaker, is that we seem to be creating a problem with this bill and then trying to use the tax revenue to solve that problem. And I know other people will say that the problem's already here, But I really believe that we're making it worse and then using all the money for programs to make it better. It just doesn't make sense to me. So thank you.